Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Coach Daniel from Region 4. Welcome to the next Wednesday workout, where every Wednesday we offer an exercise that you can do to improve your overall health. Today, we're going to focus on general conditioning, and then just some conditioning basics and principles that really anybody can do anywhere. So I'm going to start it off. That's cool with you guys, because mine's pretty easy. But we're going to talk about aerobic conditioning. And for aerobic conditioning, there's really two different styles that I like to use. And if you guys have any to add in, please chime in. But I like steady state cardio and I like HIIT cardio. So with steady state cardio, the best way to think about it is just like it sounds, it's steady. So we're talking a lower intensity, but a longer duration, because you can sustain that. So if I say go for a jog, that would be steady state cardio. If I say go sprint, you can't sustain that sprint for a long period of time. So that's the best way to think about it is, again, lower intensity, longer duration. On the flip side, we're talking about high intensity interval training, or HIIT cardio, which is a very popular method today. It's, again, the flip side of that. So we're doing a 180 here. Higher intensity, shorter duration. Again, if I said go sprint, you can't sustain that. So that's what we mean by lower duration. So those are two that I like. Now, you got to be careful with both and give some special considerations to each. What I mean by that is with steady state cardio, it's generally pretty easy. You can do that most days of the week, if not every day. Now, if you're training for a marathon or something like that, you probably are doing it every day. If you're training for the ACFT, you might be doing it 3 or 4 times a week. Again, the best practice for that, just go out there, go for a nice light jog, focus on your form and your technique versus just trying to go out for that full out sprint. I would suggest probably doing that, again, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, the HIIT cardio, that's a little more difficult. There's probably more injury that can occur. I'm not saying that it is going to occur, but there's probably a better chance for that. So with the HIIT training, I usually recommend that 2 to 3 days per week on your off days of your steady state. So if you're looking at a 5-day schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I like steady state cardio. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, if you want to throw that in there, I like HIIT cardio. So you're playing around with both. The base to that, you're building aerobic, your distance on those long steady state days, or on your HIIT days, you're building speed. On a perceived scale, 1 to 10, where 10's a full out sprint, 1's you're just kind of walking. Your steady state is about a 4 to 6, and your HIIT is about a 7 to 10. So those are the two that I like. There's many different styles of aerobic conditioning out there, a lot that people throw in, but those are the two general ones that I like. Adam, why don't you tell us a little about your program? What you like to do?
Yeah, so one of the big things I get with a lot of soldiers is they just need help with the 2-mile run. So a lot of my conditioning really focuses on that running component of the ACFT. And so I do the same thing with steady state cardio and HIIT training. I just do it a little differently. If I just have a simple program that I like to use, and this is if I have one soldier or all my people, I always give them this one program. And really what it is it's a combination of steady state and HIIT training. So I do something like it's 2-minute runs, 5-minute runs, and a 10-minute run. If anybody runs regularly, a 2-minute run's about a quarter mile on average. 5-minute run's about a half mile, and then a 10-minute run can be about a mile on average. And now, again, if you're a better runner, 10 minutes is more than a mile. Same thing with 2 or 5 minutes. But I like to use that because you can do that anywhere. You can do that type of running anywhere, and you don't necessarily need a track or anything. You just run for 2 minutes, and then run for 5, run for 10. But the way I break it down is they'll do 4 2-minute runs. So they'll run for 2 minutes, and they'll rest for 2. Then they'll run for 2, then they'll rest for 2. And they'll do that 4 times, and that equals about a mile worth of running. And then we'll do 2 5-minute runs. So they'll run for 5 minutes, they'll rest for 5 minutes, they'll run for 5, they'll rest for 5. And then they do 1 10-minute run where they run for 10 minutes, and then they rest for 10 minutes. And that's if I have one person. But sometimes if I have more than one person with my group, with my running programs, I like to just mix it up a little bit to make it a little bit more fun. And so I like to do these partner runs, which are similar to HIIT training, where they move in opposite. Ideally, I would like to do it at a track, but what we try to do is I try to get one person to run in one direction of the track and the other person to walk, and once they cross, they'll switch roles. They'll walk and run, and then that's just a good way of just kind of switching it up where you can get some competition. And it's just, again, it's like the HIIT training. You're going all out until you pass that person, and then you get a walk until they pass you. Those are just some of my strategies I like to use. The 2-minute, the 5-minute, the 10-minute run has been really successful with a lot of the soldiers I work with.
I forgot to mention exactly what HIIT is, and HIIT is periods of high intensity followed by short periods of short periods. So if you look at like a general run, a 1 minute on, 1 minute off, which would be a 1-to-1 ratio, is generally the easiest definition of HIIT.
Yeah.
So, we talk about different styles of HIIT. There's not really one direct style. There's many different styles of high intensity interval training, but as long as you follow that format of period of high intensity followed by a period of short intensity and then just going in repeated bouts of that. For coaching strategies, what do you usually like for conditioning with soldiers?
I mean, that's the main one that I went into with the running. But when I work with guys outside, like for people that don't need to run, or just in general, I like to do a lot of circuit training with weights, because a lot of people, running is not their favorite thing to do. Neither is biking. Any type of cardio is not everybody's favorite thing to do. So I like to build it into weight training. So if you do a good circuit type training where, let's say, you do squats, and then you do lunges, and then you do push-ups, and then you do pull-ups, and you start back over with squats, I'll keep the heart rate up pretty high, and that'll be a good steady-state cardio that you can do. And you do 4 rounds of that, and then you go to another group of exercises, and then maybe you finish up with some slow, steady-state exercise. But if you can keep your heart rate up for those 30 minutes, even if it's weight training, you're going to get some cardiovascular benefits from that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you talk about with HIIT being different styles. You don't need just weights or just cardio. I'm sorry. You can do it with weights or body weight or whatever it is. But
Exactly.
Greg, tell us what do you got to talk about here?
Well, one of the things I was looking at is to help with our new soldiers on this new ACFT coming up. And one of the things to get prepared for several events was actually you can do it at home, any location. Have an area where you have a 25-meter location, sprint, then stop. Do some push-ups, preferably the T push-up or the diamond push-up. Sprint back that 25 meters. And do some leg tucks or pulling ups. Use some weights to do bicep curls, tricep curls, anything of that. Sprint back down again. And do this over maybe 7 to 8 laps. Take a break for 2 to 3 minutes, relax, and repeat it 2 or 3 times, getting yourself prepared for all these different events in the future for this new ACFT.
What do you think the benefits to that style of conditioning is?
Well, it's going to help also with the leg tucks by using your upper body strength. It's also going to help by the kettlebell, carrying those. And it's also going to help with the sprint, drag, carry, and also the sprint.
Yeah.
You're dealing with that sprint, getting ready, and doing this over and over again does also help getting you prepared for your 2-mile run on the back end.
Yeah, so it's just like a lot of different styles going into one format. So you're, like you said, that's for ACFT because you can train for really any of the event,
Yes.
all into one session.
Yes. Even the other thing you can do is lunges. You can use the lunges with some weights, preparing. That's going to help with the deadlift as well.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all the time we have right now. Thanks for watching. Check out our other videos and reach out to us to get enrolled in our free training app, Train Heroic. You're just one call away from better overall health. You will find their contact information or your coach's contact information in the space below.